When we compared this bomb spree to other recent incidents, we found some disturbing patterns. American citizens visiting terror hotspots and then returning home to launch these attacks. Not only do you have the New Jersey, New York bombing suspect, but there's Orlando nightclub gunman Omar Mateen, accused police shooter Edward Archer, and San Bernardino terrorist Syed Farook. Joining me now, General Michael Hayden. He served as director of the CIA during George W. Bush's administration. He was also director of the National Security Agency during the Bush and Clinton administrations, and now he's a principal at the Chertoff Group. Great to see you, General. Thank you for being here. And so,
thanks, Megan.
There seems to be a pattern in terms of, you know, these domesticated bombers, whatever we want to call them. What are you seeing?
Well, yeah, Megan, but things become more clear in the rearview mirror very often than they are in the windscreen. I saw Catherine's wonderful report there, and we're beginning to spin out a lot more information of things that we're now discovering about this. But fundamentally, Megan, the challenge that the Bureau has when they investigate a man like this man is to identify not a criminal, but to try to discover what I would call the not yet guilty. And that's a really, really demanding task. And let me begin with a premise here, Megan. Bad things happened, but it doesn't necessarily mean, it's not a prima facie case that anyone did anything wrong prior to this. This is just a really tough problem. We need to go to school on it. We need to take lessons learned, but we don't need to make war on institutions and people who are actually keeping us pretty safe.
Well, but right, meaning the FBI, who does a great job, but, you know, that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. You know, when the average American sees the guy saying, I called him up and told me he was a terrorist, right before he told him he wasn't, who cares what he said after that? It's like, radar alert. He goes off to Quetta, where you only go if you know, apparently are interested in making bombs or have some, not only, but it's a terrorism hotspot, as people like you have been saying on our air. People wonder why wasn't he more on their radar?
Well, you bring up a lot of really good questions. And again, Megan, we need to go to school on them. But the fact that he went to Quetta, I get it. That's kind of a Taliban homeland. It's also the home of 1 million Afghan refugees living in Pakistan. So it's not unusual for an Afghan to go back to Pakistan and visit Baluchistan.
Okay, I get that. But this
are.
Guy's dad was saying that he was a terrorist, and he committed violence amongst his own family. And the reports we got yesterday from the mother of this terrorist's daughter is that he hated America, he hated American culture, he started to get much more devout. These are all signs we've heard in prior terror cases, and if you're a trained FBI agent, or as you know, a trained CIA agent, you know what this means. That's somebody worth watching.
It's somebody worth investigating. But again, Megan, this is more clear in retrospect than it was in prospect. And you brought up some really good examples there, and I'm hopeful, I'm confident the Bureau is going to school on each and every one of those instances. But Megan, you've got 3 really clear cases that are the numerator for the number of investigations that the Bureau did on these types of individuals. The denominator is numbered in the tens of thousands. So we're relying on Bureau officers to make some really difficult decisions. By the way, Megan, one of the things we might want to look at is the authority that the Bureau has when they begin these assessments, preliminary investigations, full field investigations. How invasive they can be is actually controlled by things that we can change. So we might want to ratchet that up a bit. But frankly, Megan, I don't mean to be too pessimistic here. This is very hard, and we may be bumping up against some of the limits of what is possible. Yeah,
now we have a constitution in this country, but our friends in Israel have accepted much more erosion of their civil rights in the name of security, and we have this debate whenever there's a terror attack here, which sadly is becoming more frequent. General, great to see you.
Thank you, Megan.
So